Welcome back. It is the Monsters of the Midday with the quarterback of the Oklahoma Sooners and future e-gaming legend, Baker Mayfield. If I told you today you could have a 20-year career as an e-game star or a 2-year career as an NFL quarterback, what'd you take?
No, you're just making me pick between two dreams. That's pretty tough for me. Crap.
You got to take 2 years in the NFL.
Where am I playing? Yeah, where am I playing in the NFL?
Wherever you want.
I'm taking
your
a 2-year
choice.
contract.
But I will say, you are quite the gamer, though, right?
I enjoy it.
You still getting the video games?
Not as serious as it used to be, but I'm sure I'll get back into it here pretty soon.
What's the game of choice?
Halo, always.
Halo.
Yeah.
That's intense.
No, it's intense. I used to always my teammates would always play Halo, but I wasn't much of a gamer, but I'd sit down and try to play with them. I just get smoked all the time, so I never got into it because I wasn't good enough.
I put out beatings. Anybody that challenges me, I put it out.
What about Madden, or what about college football? I hadn't played in a while, but there was a time when if you got me on the sticks on college football, I was going to put a hurting on you. So I hadn't played in a while, but I'm always up for a challenge if you're game.
I can call the plays in Madden or NCAA, but controlling my guys on defense is a complete different story. It's bad. I don't know what goes wrong with the hand-eye coordination, but it's not good.
How involved were you this summer in the process of the extra year of eligibility? Because that thing wasn't going to happen, then it's going to happen. I mean, how were you following that process?
Well, I'm kind of on the outside.
Right.
It wasn't in my control, even though I was technically in the middle of it. It was all our faculty athletic representative, Kelly Danfus, was kind of in the middle the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
President Boren and Joe Castiglione, athletic director. And they're kind of the three main guys that fought for it, along with the compliance office that pushed for bringing up the idea of changing the rule about walk-ons transferring, and they kind of made the final push. Even after they voted, they brought it back up again the next day after talking to some people and got some extra votes, changed it from being 5-5 to 7-3. So, I mean, very thankful for what they did. A lot of hard work, and it was a long process.
Yeah. Walk me through the emotions for you, because it had to be a swing of emotions. And I know that's something that you and your family were very passionate about, regardless if it was for you or if it was for future walk-ons. So walk me through just the emotional state you had to go through to try before it get rejected, to get rejected again, and then all of a sudden it comes back. So walk us through that. It had to be a whirlwind of emotion.
So it was 2.5 years long. So it started right when I transferred to Oklahoma. We tried immediately to try to get the immediate eligibility for the 2014 season. Obviously that didn't work, and so pretty disappointing because we thought we were going to get it since I was a true walk-on, and so that was pretty low point. And then we knew that the next part of it was trying to get the extra year since I would be eligible the next season, and voted on it again, and I had high hopes because of what people were telling me and what they had said, and obviously didn't go as planned. And then the most recent, when they met for the Big 12 meetings in late May, early June, so they voted, and it was 5-5, and which meant they didn't pass the rule. It just had to be simple majority, so 6-4 would have worked. And then so they told me it was 5-5, and obviously I was very disappointed because that's so close. But then they told me to keep my head up, that it wasn't over, and I really didn't know what the plan was. But next morning at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, I found out that I got my year back, so I was pretty happy about it.
You know who Johnny Drama is?
Oh, yeah.
You know what his favorite line is, right?
What?
Victory! That had to be what Baker Mayfield did when he heard that news.
Yeah, something along the lines of that.
So I found out yesterday that your former coach actually voted for you, or Texas Tech voted for you. Does that, in the future, later on down the line, does that maybe help mend some fences there between you guys? Is there a relationship still there possibly?
There's still a relationship. I think that after the initial vote of when they said no of the transfer, I mean, it was out of their hands then because they had turned it over to the Big 12, and after that it was all about the rules. So after that, the relationship with us was fine. I've still been friends with all the players, coaches. I still feel like I could go talk to them. Obviously, the fan base would be a little bit different story.
Right.
But, no. What he said yesterday and the compliments that he gave me, I think they're true, and I respect him a lot too because of the type of player he was and the type of coach he is. He had a chip on his shoulder. He goes out and he's himself, and you got to respect a guy like that doesn't hold back, and he speaks his mind.
Kind of like somebody else I know.
That's cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Shep is gone. That leaves a huge leadership vacancy there at the wide receiver position. I know you've been throwing with the guys over the summer, but who's developing there as a leader of that group, and kind of scout for us what you see at the receiving position?
Obviously, D.D. Westbrook's going to be probably our number one target, fast guy on the outside. On the other side of the ball, on the outside too, Jeff Mead is coming into his own, put on some weight. He's a tall guy, 6'5", 6'6". Is able to go get the ball. Something size that we didn't have last year, which is going to be very good. And then three other outside guys, I'd say, A.D. Miller, Dahu Green, and Jordan Smallwood. Jordan's finally healthy after tearing his knee up, and so he's looking good. And then A.D. Miller and Dahu Green are kind of our youngsters. Big guys, 6'3", 6'4", and then we go on the inside. It was kind of our main focus for me right now is getting connections with those guys. Mark Andrews, Geno Lewis, big receivers, big bodies for our Y position, and then our H, kind of our smaller slot. Jarvis Baxter played a lot last year, a good player, but then people are going to find out who Nick Basquin is pretty soon. And Norman Native was a walk-on, works his butt off. He's changed his body very well, catches the ball well, and so pretty excited about those guys. And obviously we lost leadership in Shep and Duron Neal. They played a lot and they've been around for a long time, but it's a youthful, energetic group which I can relate to, and I think it'll be pretty exciting.
You've gone to Coach Riley and said, put 81 on the field. I need that target out there. I mean, because he's a matchup nightmare for defenses.
Oh, he is, and I don't need to tell that to Coach Riley. He knows it, and he knows what we can do. Because right now we can use Mark, we can put him in line on the tight end. We can put Dimitri and Joe in the backfield at the same time, or Samaje, and then we can split out to empty. That's going from personnel matchup nightmares to a defense that needs to sub. And if we can play fast like we want to, we should be pretty successful.
Samaje needs about 1,000 yards to be the all-time career
1,056
career rushing leader at Oklahoma. I mean,
all-time career.
Yeah,
all-time.
right.
And only his third season.
Feed the boy.
Yeah, you ever just sit back and watch him and go, thank God I'm not tackling him?
Coach Riley gets mad at me because I'll hand the ball off, and sometimes I won't carry out my fake because I love watching him run.
I love watching him on the blitzes. He's kills. I mean, you're a linebacker coming in, and you don't. If you have not identified where 32's at, you better identify.
Better find out if you're a linebacker blitzing off the edge or through the A gap, because one of my favorite plays is people see the throw that I had to Shepard on when they brought blitz, but Samaje plugged the hole in the A gap. He stuck that guy pretty good. So it's always exciting seeing those guys lay their body on the line and making a block for you.
How do those two in the backfield? Any animosity between those two? Sharing the load at the running back spot?
Absolutely not. It's pretty special to see. You don't see that too often, where a guy that's competing basically for their future career and whatnot. They don't argue. They know that they need each other. They complement each other. So it's pretty special to see them get along and work well together, knowing that they each have their own aspects which they're better at. You could say they're thunder and lightning, but they're both big and strong and fast. So they complement each other well, and you don't need one to take too much of the load, so you can have both of them healthy.
Anything else?
No, I was going to ask about the tackle position. Those guys have got a year more under their belt, and I think big things are expected of them. So do you feel more comfortable knowing that those guys have got a few more games underneath them?
I think the offensive line should be better, knowing that our three young guys that we had last year are coming back experienced. They've been deep in the season into some pretty important games, playing in some tough circumstances. I'm excited about it, and then got some young linemen that looking forward to. So we'll see. We got some young guys: Christian Daimler, Ben Powers, Cody Ford, and then Jonathan Alvarez playing center now. So looking forward to those three other guys, seeing how we can fit them into the two left spots.
I asked you this earlier on television, but I know that I've heard a lot of people talk about this in Oklahoma, so they want to know the answer to it. Are you going to change the way you play next year? Because everyone talks about TCU, though it had nothing to do with you. Obviously, Clemson, you get concussions in both those games. People worried about Baker Mayfield staying healthy, being on the field. At times, you'll play with some reckless abandon. You're just a competitor. Have they tried to coach that out of you? Have you worked on your game to change anything to help keep you healthy and stay on the field?
They're not going to coach that out of me. I don't think they, even if they tried, I don't think it would happen. But they know that's who I am, and that's who I'll always be. Competitor on the field, fearless, not scared of taking any hits. That's why I wear pads and a helmet. It protects me, and sometimes you take a shot that hurts a little bit, but you get back up and you try and keep going. Obviously, I'm working on trying to take care of the ball a little bit more, take care of my body, maybe slide or throw the ball away here or there, but circumstances like that are going to happen. That's why it's football. It is a dangerous game, but I signed up for it.
Any choreography, dance moves planned?
Yeah.
What's going to be your next video viral moment?
I'm trying to stay out of that.
Yeah. No, you've got some skills. I mean, I certainly something that
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely pretty impressive. Not something that I would try to do.
We haven't done anything here. No social media dances. Nothing.
We're trying to stay out of that.
Stay away from that.
Stay away from it.
Okay, I like
That's no
that. There's a big game coming up at the start of the season. Coach Stoops, Joe Castiglione, never been afraid to play quality competition. Does Houston, having the year they had, 13-1, and really blowing the doors off a quality team in Florida State, did that have your attention? You guys gonna be ready to go out there to Houston?
We will be ready. That's what we've been focusing on. We kind of split up our summer workouts. We built it into 4 quarters, and the first quarter was, I mean, you talk about having Houston and Ohio State in the same quarter. It's pretty tough, but that's why we work so hard during the summer, because we got to get ready to hit it on all cylinders come September 3rd and in September 17th. So taking it one game at a time, but right now all focus is on Houston.
September 17th, I know the focus on Houston, but what do you think it's going to be like in that stadium? Be the first night game in that freshly bowled-in stadium. I know it's the second home game, but with Ohio State coming to town, Big Fox, that's what college football is all about. What's that night going to be like?
It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a different beast. I think the noise level in the stadium is going to be a lot better just because they bowled in that south end zone. Same amount of people, but I think the energy level is going to be absolutely fantastic having Ohio State, Urban Meyer, and his team come into town. And been looking forward to it for a long time, and it's finally here.
Very good.
Thanks for your time, Baker.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I'm going to go work on my dance moves with Baker off air.
You need some help.
And I got to go talk to the Wizard, Bill Snyder, downstairs on camera. So, any questions for the Wizard? What would you ask Bill Snyder, Baker?
I'd say thank you. He's written me 2 letters now.
He's written you. You've gotten 2 already.
That guy, right? It's unbelievable.
And
when's the last time you wrote a letter? Have you ever written a letter? Just emails.
It's been a little while.
You're a millennial. You don't know how to write a letter. That's Baker Mayfield, the starting quarterback, All-American and Heisman candidate for this upcoming season, live from Big 12 Media Days.
We're done.
That's it.
That's all.
We'll be back in Oklahoma tomorrow.
The traffic's okay.
Okay, very good. All right, well, coming up next, it's the Afternoon Sports Beat with the ultimate Jim Traber. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 to 2, for the Monsters of the Midday.